going on, everybody?
Whoop, whoop.
This is Cereal. I wasn't sure, honestly, where I was going with that. I was gonna say this is. I don't know. I was gonna say
you're getting the people riled up.
They're what is it?
Getting butterflies in their stomach.
They're getting butterflies in their stomach, and that's not good.
We don't want that.
Because
That's
butterflies are meant to stay only in the sky.
Yep.
We're off to a really good start here so
Off to
far.
a really great start.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is episode 2.
Official
Episode 2 ever of the Cereal Saturday podcast. Last week, we hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. We hope you enjoy this week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
And all the episodes to come as well.
Yeah.
Today it's a little bit of a gloomy day. Last week when we had it, it was very nice and sunny and bugs were outside.
Nice spring day.
Now it's spring and it doesn't look like it. It was snowing this morning.
It snowed earlier.
It was ridiculous. Now it's all
Towards
cloudy.
the end of April.
Yes, it's almost the end of April when we're recording this and upload as well. But it's just gloomy. The one nice thing is there's not bugs outside.
I'll
but
take it.
Still, we want warm. We want the nice warm weather. But that's whatever because it's still beautiful. It's just not exactly what we want.
Yep.
So
Beggars can't be choosers.
beggars can't be choosers. They can only be beggars. Okay, that's what I say.
All right.
Well, today, what cereal we have today, Riley?
We got Cheerios,
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah,
Specifically. Not just the regular bland boys.
That would be too boring for us.
bland boys,
be
bland
too
boys.
boring.
What you gonna do?
It's like the I don't know what that was.
Instead of bad boys, what you gonna do something for you?
Did you ever watch that show?
I switched what it really said into something different.
Did you ever watch that show, Cops?
That was a show.
Yeah, was it? That's where the song's from.
Bad
was it?
Boys, are you talking? Is it the show where it's like real police and they have the cameras on them? Like the body.
I think so. I watched like a little bit of it.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I think they had the body cams and stuff.
I remember seeing an ad for it while I was in Florida.
Hmm.
I remember it specifically because what?
I didn't know they still made it.
I don't know, or if at least it was just like watch it. Like
Okay.
I don't know. But I remember they synced up when they were shutting the door of putting the people in the cars. It was like bad boys. Like it was like it was on the beat. So I thought it was cool.
That's funny.
Does that make sense? Like
That
they
does
closed
make
it on the so it was like 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know.
That makes sense.
It was cool. You can tell that I'm a drummer because I did that well.
Yeah.
So today we have Honey Nut Cheerios. You're probably thinking, "Wow, that's the most exciting cereal ever." But you'll understand why we picked this cereal when we get to our topic today. So,
well, I guess let's get started with the pour.
yeah, this is kind of a similar thing where from last week where it's like this is a pretty common cereal. Like especially this cereal, it's like it's Honey Nut Cheerios.
I think I got too much milk.
That's okay.
I'll just drink the rest of it.
Yeah. But it's like Honey Nut Cheerios, it's pretty basic, pretty common.
Actually,
I got way too much cereal.
Yeah, you got us way too much cereal. Last time we did like a couple bites of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and he got us a little snack, like a little bowl.
I got us a little bowl, so I just assumed it'd be less cereal that I put in, but I still put in quite a bit of cereal.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a longer review.
But
that's okay.
That's okay.
I'll probably take actually more milk. I think I got to
Do you need more? Here.
I'll just take
Don't
I'll just take a
spill
little
it.
more. I'm gonna spill it on the mic.
But it's a basic cereal. It's a common cereal.
Okay, there you
Well, I mean maybe it's common. It might be. I mean cereal's coming.
If you're listening out of the USA, it may not be common. I actually don't know. It's pretty common in the US.
Is it a US only cereal? Is there is a lot of the cereals we eat US only, or is it like
well,
cause
you know that like breakfasts in like other countries are a lot different.
Yeah, like beans and toast and tomatoes. Ben. Not gonna say his last name, but you know who you are.
You know who you are.
You know what we're talking about.
I mean,
disgusting.
When I was in Germany for a little bit, they just had like breads and like jams and stuff.
But that's like good. Like, do they toast it at least?
No.
I mean, I guess
well,
bread and jelly though.
But they were not like loaves of bread. It was like rolls and stuff.
Oh,
it was interesting.
it's not like sliced bread.
No, I think you'd like it though. I feel like you.
I feel like I would, 'cause I mean, it's got like the sweetness. Like I have to.
It's like croissant bread, you know.
Oh, okay.
Like that, but like there's no flavoring. It's just regular buttered bread, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And
It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's interesting because, well, see, I'd rather eat that than baked beans and toast. If you're listening from the UK and you're offended, I'm sorry, but that's just gross. Like, baked beans are supposed to only be eaten with barbecue.
Yeah.
Like, not breakfast with some tomatoes. You know, I can get behind the toast and the sausage, but then but replace the beans and tomatoes with like eggs and bacon.
Yes.
Then we can get talking, okay? So, we're from America. We consume sugar for our breakfast.
Love the sugar.
I love the sugar.
It's not good for you, but man.
But it's good for me.
It tastes good and leaves me hungry 20 minutes later.
And that's what it's about. So you eat more of it.
Exactly.
So
well, I poured my milk, so we better get this review on.
I need
it's gonna get soggy.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, remind me of the 3 criteria again.
Yeah. So it was overall taste.
Overall
one, does it taste good? It's like, does it dissolve in the milk or does it actually hold up? And then, how does the milk taste afterwards?
All right, let's take a bite.
I was hit. What's going on? Why do I taste coffee? Are you tasting?
I taste like it too.
You got a coffee taste?
A little bit.
What's going on? I feel like I got hit with 2 flavors. One was like, one was like, like what's, like, almost not in a good way. But yeah, I'm tasting like coffee bean. Is this normal? Comment.
I don't think it is.
Guys, comment below if you're able to, depending on what platform you're on. Comment below what if you're eating along with us. That would be amazing. Oh my gosh, guys, if you guys ever eat the cereal along with us, that would be amazing. If you do that, please send us a video on Instagram or something like that. But either way, if you have had them recently, let us know if you've had a coffee flavor, because I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling it, but I'm tasting it. That's okay.
Well, I definitely got a little too much milk, but it's okay. Aiden gave us a little too much cereal. This is a little snack. This is more than like 4 spoonfuls.
I just washed down 4 spoonfuls really fast. Did you see me? Wow.
He was going. All right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a tiny bit here for just like 30 seconds to a minute. See if it's still good by then.
Okay. Well,
What are you thinking so far?
I'll start off with my criteria. So for the first one, taste. I mean, it's Cheerios, nothing special.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not like mid, but it's just like.
You say it's not mid?
Yeah, that's what mid is. It's 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not middle. It's not the middle. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's a great either. So and the honey nut does help. So I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 on the taste.
Which, quick question, what does the nut come in? Like, is that like nutty flavor? Like what is that?
Can we get something on that? What's the nut?
Yes. Because there's like the honey flavor, which is what's going on? There's a honey flavor, which of course is honey, but is it like,
you don't know the honey
is
nut?
Is it like
Have you never?
is that what it is? Is that like a honey nut, like roasted or something?
No, it's the nut that's is honey.
What are you talking about over there?
I don't know.
All right, I've let it sit for a little bit, so I'm gonna take another bite and see if it's still holding up. Continue on what you're saying.
Okay, well, I'm gonna move on to the second criteria. Structure in the milk. I mean, I let mine sit there for a little bit because I poured it and then we started talking. And then after eating it, it was actually still pretty crunchy. So like, actually, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 on that. After it sits in the milk. I mean, if it's sitting in the milk for a bit, like 5 minutes or more.
If it's in the milk,
that's gonna be soggy. but like that minute or like so that was like sitting there, it was
impressive.
It was still pretty good afterwards. So yeah, it's like an 8 out of 10 on that for me for the like the structure of it.
Yeah.
And what was the last one? Oh, milk.
Milk taste.
I'd give this one probably like a 3 out of 10. Not great.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I don't like it. It's just way too tart. You know, like it doesn't add any sweetness to the milk or anything, and it's just a pretty bland. It almost makes the milk worse. I'd rather just drink regular milk than milk that the cereal has been in.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'd give that 3 out of 10. That was not great, actually.
Huh.
I'll take the rest of the milk. I'll drink it.
Okay, here you go. Passing the milk to him.
Yay.
Well, so overall taste, I would probably say, what did you say, a 6?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I would probably say the same. I think a 6 is fair. It's not like mind-blowing. but it is good. It's like it's not incredibly sweet like some cereals, but it's also sweet enough because it's it's supposed to help with cholesterol, so it's not supposed to like blow your heart up, which is good. So yeah, 6 out of 10 taste I think is a fair. Structural, it like Riley said, it held up pretty well. I mean I left it in there for a little while, and though it wasn't crisp on the outside, it was still like a good consistency. Not like Cinnamon Toast Crunch last time, where literally it was in the milk for the same amount of time, it became just wet and floppy and soggy, and that's gross. So, what did you give it? I don't remember.
For what?
For structural.
Oh, for an 8. I gave it an 8. Yeah,
okay,
I thought it
yeah.
was really good. Yeah.
I would I'll probably get the same. I'll probably say I feel like I'm just taking all of your answers and saying that. Oh,
it's fine. We can have similar.
Simmer.
We can have similar.
Simmer down now. Simmer yeah, me. Simmer me.
What?
Okay. I'd say it's 8, and then tape milk is actually the thing I disagree on. I think it's more. I'd probably say it's more like I'd say 5.5 because it's not great, but it's not. I think it's slightly improved the milk, like not by much to where I got milk on me somehow.
That's embarrassing.
Some liquid, I know. I think it improved it slightly, but not enough to be like going crazy about. So
I can see that. No, I after just drinking that straight glass of milk, I think that was way better than the one with the cereal in it.
You think that regular milk was better?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well,
not all of us can be right, but it's okay.
Are you talking about me or the cereal?
It's okay.
Okay, I'm scared. Well, I'm not surprised by this review. It's like a mediocre, mundane cereal. Got it on that one. Mundane cereal that it's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I mean, like you could buy it and it's pretty solid. Like you're not gonna get disappointed, but you're also not gonna be like, this is the best thing I've tasted in my whole life. Which
it's like a pretty general, like good 6 or 7 out of 10 cereal.
Yeah. Which I was just thinking about this. People who've had these cereals, I wonder if like I feel like the only people to listen to this for a legitimate review on these cereals is probably got to be people like either out of the country that have never had these before, or people that are somehow never had them. You know, like if you grew up with not being able to eat sugary cereals, and so the first time, like you're gonna be like, should I eat Honey Nut Cheerios? And you listen to this. What?
If you grew up with not eating sugary cereals, Honey Nut Cheerios
is gonna blow your mind.
It's gonna blow your mind
in a good way. In a good way.
And then once you move on to like Captain Crunch, which we were obsessed last week with that.
Well, 'cause the crunch was on the brain.
Yeah.
You got the crunch on the brain.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that one soon.
I got
money on my mind.
I feel like that I was gonna. I don't know. I had something. I feel like there's something else I was gonna quote, but I don't remember what. It was just something about mind, but that could be anything. So we'll just move on.
Okay.
We'll just move on. Anyways, Chick-fil-A merch just dropped.
Yes.
Booyah!
Yes.
Booyah!
It's
crazy.
So drippy.
This. We're gonna move on from what Riley just said.
No.
Okay, it actually does say that in the ad though about something about drip because of sauce. Basically, if you don't know, Chick-fil-A just dropped some merch related by the sauce basically sauce merch.
Yeah,
so
like
their
sauce themed merch. Yes,
which is crazy. You might think of that and say like that's weird and lame, and I don't want to do that. But it's actually pretty epic. Chick-fil-A has something. There's something in the way. In the way of how they do things. Like you take a sauce, right? Just a simple sauce that you eat with chicken, and they make some actually pretty epic merch off of it. They got like a pocket shirt. They got crew necks, which is epic, and they have shoes. Chick-fil-A making shoes. Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Sauce themed. They're like these regular looking, like almost Converse low tops.
Almost as if you just dipped the bottom half in the sauce.
Yes.
What if it really did that? Yuck. Ugh. You get them, it's all sticky. It smells rank when you open the box. You're like, ugh.
But
care, do not wash.
Yes, don't wash. But basically, for those who don't know, what we were saying is that they released they've released collections of merch before, just Chick-fil-A themed ones. Which I was really sad I didn't get to purchase the last one.
Yes, you wanted a hat, the trucker hat.
The last one, they just had a lot of like original stuff. like
original Chick-fil-A, like how they have like the original Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah, like they had a crew neck that was like gray that said original on it. Aiden actually got a sweatshirt, like a hoodie that with like it had like a heart, but it was out of the out of the crinkle cut, or not crinkle cut, out of the waffle cut fries.
Waffle
fries.
Jeez
yes,
Louise.
Sorry, out of the waffle fries. And it's actually looks like a pretty cool hoodie.
It is. It's very comfortable. My mom got it for me for Christmas, and I love it. I've seen like two other people wearing them before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and I'll say, wow, that's very cool. But yeah, they make quality stuff, like quality food. Okay.
Yeah, but they released that collection like a while ago, and there's a hat in there, a trucker hat that says "Chicken for breakfast."
Chicken for breakfast.
I think it's such a cool hat.
That's right.
And I didn't pick it up, unfortunately. I'm really sad. So, but it's such a cool hat.
If you're out there listening and you have the chicken for breakfast hat and you don't want it anymore, let us know, and Riley will wear it. Unless you got lice or something gross.
Yeah, please don't.
But Riley will take it. So if you haven't checked out sauce merch from Chick-fil-A, go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. It's their latest collection. It's super
so cool.
sick.
Unless you don't like Chick-fil-A over their sauces, then you might not.
We're sorry to hear about that. You know.
Yeah, we're sorry to hear about that. Right. Not all of us can be great in like Chick-fil-A. So. Yeah. And so, it's pretty cool.
All right.
Well, with that, as I said earlier, you might be end of banter. Don't say anything funny from now on.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh. Yeah.
No laughing. No, so you might be wondering, why the heck did we choose Honey Nut Cheerios? And that's because today's topic, it's a little bit different than last week, but we wanted to talk about the joy of mundane, mundane. And like, what does that mean exactly? Well, that's what we're gonna answer, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So with Honey Nut Cheerios, it's a fairly mundane, ordinary cereal, but like in life, I feel like there's a lot of joy and unexpected blessings and opportunities that come from mundane, everyday life, rather than, not always crazy, spontaneous, epic, mind-blowing experiences, but just day in, day out things. So, Riley, do you have any initial thoughts that you want to start us off with this topic?
Not too many. Or
okay. Oh, I bonked my microphone.
I think once we're in discussion, it'll probably provoke some thoughts. But
okay, and this is the topic that I came up with.
That's the one that Aiden came up with. So I bet Aiden's got some good he's got a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
But no, yeah, go ahead. Once we get in, I think I'll come up with some stuff.
Yeah, so I just think that I feel like this is an interesting topic because I feel like this isn't often thought about. Like this is something that I've thought about more recently, like joy of mundane thing. And I'm not talking about like, the most boring things imaginable, like I'm not talking about like doing taxes.
That's not fun.
That I'm not talking about, but I'm just talking about like day in, day out stuff, like going to work, getting gas. There's a lot of things within the things that we do every day that I feel like can bring unexpected joy that you have to sometimes you have to look for.
Yes.
I think that the kind of like I don't like this the phrase like stop and smell the roses, it's associated with the what is it, Expedia, that travel site, it's got the gnome.
Oh,
stop and smell the roses.
I actually don't know if that's Expedia.
Whatever it is. Whatever thing that is. I feel like there's some truth to that, if you're always, imagine if it's like this garden that had like a long sidewalk and you were working out, right? If you go there just to purely run and you don't appreciate what's around you, then you're going to miss out on so much. Like there's a time and a place just to run and to exercise. There's a time and a place to just do things in life because you have to just live. But there's also a point that if you are constantly only looking for, you're just going through every day, going through the motions sort of thing of you clock in, you clock out, you get gas, you get food, you eat, you sleep, and that's it. I mean, that's a pretty, I don't know, it's just boring. Yeah. But it's just not, it's not very fulfilling. But if you do that everything the exact same, but you'd have to have a mind chant. What did I just say? mind chant. Okay. A mindset change. I feel like it just takes everything that you do on a daily basis and it can make it more enjoyable and more joyful than that you could ever. Whoa! I thought my computer just started to turn orange, and I got really scared. I was like, I swear, if we lose this recording. But no. So like, for example, the other day I was going to work out at the gym. It was just a normal day. I just got off work and I was going to the gym, and I on the way in there, the gym I work at. It's a part of a mall, right? And so there was mall security going around on the outside, and there was just this guy walking around. I think just doing like a patrol. He was probably just came from the inside, so he was on foot, right? And then there's also a car that goes around, and they just kind of stopped and were just kind of like joking around, just kind of talking about some stuff, like super like. I mean, stuff it's not very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't, it's things that only might be interesting if you work together.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just like, I literally kind of just like stopped for like a couple seconds just to think about that. It was just so touching to have these like, just thinking about like the general mundane connections you can have with people and how even those can be joyful, with the people that you see all the time with work. Even that can be it's a different connection than like a deep friendship.
Yeah.
But there's still things that come from that come from seeing somebody every day. And so seeing them just kind of joking around, like, hey, like he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get to the other side of the mall. I was gonna walk. She's like, no, let me take you over in the security mobile. I was like, yeah, I'll hop in the whip. But I don't know, it was just like this small, yeah, very touching and cool moment that I witnessed. I was like, yeah, that's so nice. I feel like that's a gift that we have.
Yeah.
To be able to have those connections like that and be able to have small things like that happen throughout the day through your kind of mundane things that I don't know. I just feel like that those are sometimes overlooked. Like, yeah, we joke around sometimes. But like that's something that makes it mundane things more enjoyable. And so if you didn't have maybe sometimes like boring times in your job, or even if you have a job that's like super exciting, there's things within that can provide, I don't know, it's like cool, joyful experiences.
Yes.
Does that kind of make sense? I feel like.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean by that. I actually had a experience yesterday at work. I was working a pretty long shift. Well, it's long for Chick-fil-A
Working
standards.
9 to 5. Anybody
Actually, yeah, it was a 9 to 5
Oh, wow.
shift. Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't know, we work at Chick-fil-A. So if you want to, why I think you were talking about Chick-fil-A merch?
Yeah.
It's
kind of important to us.
It is.
But yeah. So it was like it was 9 to 5:15. So it was kind of a weird shift. And for those who don't know, I mean, personally, an 8-hour shift at a Chick-fil-A,
it can be crazy.
It can be crazy, and it can be very tiresome, just because of all the stuff you have to do. And I'm not saying
Chick-fil-A's crazy. It can be busy.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's bad or anything. Like, we love interacting with the guests and other team members and stuff. I'm just saying it's long. Yeah, it's got 8 hours of work. You're really working, So, so I'm just saying it's like usually those shifts they're long and they're pretty crazy.
I mean, especially if you go through the lunch rush, can be insane.
Yes,
and you're beginning the dinner rush too.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
you get just a lot of people to serve. If you work at Chick-fil-A, you know what we're talking about. If you don't, though, you can probably understand from a guest perspective. It can get pretty crazy.
Especially
we move a lot of people, through the drive-through, a lot of people on the inside, but it's great.
Yeah, but it was at the time in my shift. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock where it was getting kind of close to the end of my shift, and it was after that lunch rush, so it was like really slow.
Yes.
Which there's kind of like a weird like hour or 2 hour part in our every shift. Well, after like the lunch rush, it's just pretty dead.
Yeah, it's just that midday lull.
Yeah, and so we were actually doing that. I was bagging, and I had another coworker of mine who was on front counter bagging. I was drive-through bagging, and we were just kind of sitting there, just making jokes and stuff. And like it was just super chill because it was so slow. And I was just bagging orders, and like I wasn't really waiting on anything, so it wasn't really stressful. And we were just getting orders out and stuff, and we were just kind of talking and having a conversation, and it was just super chill.
Yeah,
like the weather was nice. I had another coworker, a friend of mine on Sauce Boss, who I was talking to as well. We were joking around, and it was just like super just chill and like nothing really to it, It was just like interacting and having good conversation and company with those people, Even if it was just work, it was still like, and I'm not saying like we were messing around or anything.
Yeah.
It was quite literally, there was nobody inside, and we had like maybe 4 cars in drive-through, and the orders were like super small as well. So like, of course, like We're just
nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy or any. So yeah, and especially at those times, I feel like it can be very, the contrast is quite like, I won't say large. It's a great contrast between like going from a crazy lunch rush,
like 20 orders on screen.
20 orders
we
on
got
screen.
like,
Yeah.
30 people in line.
Yeah, you have like a bunch of stuff to bag, a bunch of food to bag. You got a bunch of orders you got to take out. You're waiting on food and kitchen. To you have like 4 orders you have, and you have to like they're all like 2 items. You got like nuggets and fries, or like chicken sandwich and fries or whatever. And you can get it out like super quick, and like the cars are just there and gone, and you're not getting as many cars as as you were earlier. So, the contrast is pretty great.
Yeah.
When something like that happens, so then like that experience is very noticeable. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting because I had another example that's very similar. It's funny. It's almost the exact same. Where in the sense where you were bagging. Okay, you were on drive to bagging, and I think I was just like stocking stuff. So I was just doing some float and stuff like that. So and it was that time. It was like that 3 o'clock kind of like midday in between lunch and dinner lull. You know, we get some people getting some snacks and different stuff like that. But it was pretty slow. So it was a good time to, we just stock and stuff like that. So not super crazy exciting stuff. But in that time, I just remember feeling like it was really nice outside. So it was like nice weather. So none of us had like jackets on or anything. Like the window was the drive-through door was open. So like air was coming in. It was just all these like really most of the time unnoticed things. But like I was just kind of stopping things like this is so nice. Like I just felt so at peace and like joyful at that moment that it was just like a bunch of people working at the same place, doing a fair like similar job, just working in different positions, but all for the same purpose. And it was just something about it. It was like we were all connected in some way, even though we're completely different people, just doing like something fairly simple. Nothing super exciting, and yet it was just so nice,
Yeah.
And I feel like in those times, you could look at it and be like, yeah, this is so boring because there's nobody here. There's nothing going on, or you could look at it and say like, no, it's so nice. It's such a beautiful day. I get to joke around and but also still like work with these people. Get to get stuff done, be productive. And I don't know. I just feel like that was such a cool experience that if I wasn't thinking about that in the moment, it would have been like, oh, I'm off in an hour trying to get stuff done, make the time go by. Rather than, this is just a nice, it's mundane, and yet it's so, like that's still like stuck in my head. Ever since like I experienced that, it's stuck in my head. Even like the first thing I talked about.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just such a cool thing. That again, if you just continue to go through life through the motions, looking for the next big thing, all the in between points is just, sometimes it could be miserable, if you're like just waiting for the next vacation, waiting for, and that's not a bad thing. Vacations are not bad things. And I think there's a time and a place, for out of the ordinary, trips and vacations, stuff like that. But if that's the only thing, those are the only things that ever bring us joy, I feel like that could be difficult, whether, and this can be difficult for different for different people, like us working at Chick-fil-A and other people doing, much more difficult jobs, whether it's labor intensive or mentally intensive, even like police officers, a lot of stuff that they do. It's obviously going to be a lot of heavier stuff. But it's still, if you only think about like the heavy stuff and you don't get to think about like the joys and the blessings of like just everyday things, I feel like it can be a lot more difficult, if you only focus on the next big thing to distract you from the rest of life, rather than looking for things to be appreciative in everyday life.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like that's just been a cool, like, helpful thing for me to think about, like, just even just driving, just driving places, like listening to music I like, driving a nicer car, than I deserve to have on just a beautiful day, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's sunny, whether it's stupid windy, all of it is just like, it's a blessing just to be in beautiful nature, to be able to have a nice car, to be able to, do these things. And I say nice car, I'm not talking about craziness. I drive a Nissan Altima. So, but even like in just those things, be able to have like a car that I'm comfortable in. That's just a small mundane thing, but even that, like, is a joy of itself. Not everybody has a nice, comfortable car. Some people have like, they have a beater car, or some people can't even afford to get a car. So like even that itself is like a joy and a blessing to have. And so it's like trying to think about these things, being more grateful for the gifts that God has given me. is it helps, I feel like, put life a little bit more into perspective. I feel like somewhat it helps. Like I haven't been on a lot of vacations. Most of the ones I've been on have been with you, and those are incredibly memorable, and those I think were like amazing, and I would like to do those again. But it's like if those I enjoyed and the rest of the time I don't, my life would be pretty miserable because it's not very often, and so it's like finding things every day that just make things, I don't know, like puts things like I guess somewhat into like perspective more. Perspective. I started on that science. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any what else are you thinking on that?
No, I mean I agree with you. It's always good to stop and smell the roses, I think.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to go too fast, 'cause you'll miss a lot of cool things in life.
Yeah.
And no, but I agree though. It's like just even like, I mean, in America we do live a very comfortable life, which I'm grateful for. But it's even that I feel like people could take for granted as well.
Yeah.
And it's always just good to just enjoy the time you have, here. And yeah, like basically what I said earlier, like stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean that's especially like if you're especially like here in America, and not everybody of course, but in the general, I would think, like for us, like so immersed like in comforts in different things, and I'm not like, I don't come from like an incredibly wealthy family, but I still have never, I've never had to worry about like a meal or different things like that. And so being completely surrounded by like comforts and different things like that, it requires, I feel like, more effort to think about what do I really have in life? What like I really have everything I have in my life I have to be thankful for. And so if I just continue to go on day in, day out, just go to work, clock in, leave, I'm going to miss a lot, even just in the 24-hour period of things that I could be experiencing, like in a more thankful mindset, I guess. I kind of blanked on what I was trying to think there. But it's even like in the same thing, if we didn't have mundane things, if it was always just like vacation stuff like that, it wouldn't be quite as cool. If you were constantly traveling, constantly doing stuff, there's still gonna be cool stuff. Yeah, it's not gonna be quite as, it's kind of like the cliche, like you can't appreciate like sunny days if you don't have like the cloudy, gloomy days. Yeah. Or vice versa. If it's always hot and like dry, you're never gonna appreciate when it's cool and rainy. And so it's like even with that, you can't always appreciate like bigger vacations and bigger events that happen in your life as much if you don't have just mundane, and vice versa. You can't really appreciate like things that you find in mundane if you never do anything else, in a sense. But I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of a, I guess feel like somewhat of a lost, maybe not totally lost, but it's just a less common. It's like we're always looking for the next vacation, looking for, the next day off or something like that. Whereas like instead of looking for something else that we're not in, to be content in what you do have, and then, and finding just the joys, joys in that, I guess. So one last example I guess I can think about is a few weeks ago, for my small group that we do for like church and everything, we like a meeting, and we were just doing sandwiches, like just sandwiches for food. Like we just did like a sandwich bar. So it was like one of the most like simple, like sandwiches. You don't think that's not super exciting? And it wasn't super like crazy. We just had some bread and some cheese and some meats, pretty just like basic sandwich ingredients. But for some reason, this like super simple, like fairly mundane, it's like it's a scheduled thing. We do it every other week. We get together. It's this pretty much the same structure. We eat, we stock and study, and then we go home.
Yeah.
And yet even in that, there's like a joy of looking forward to something that's within, it's in my schedule, which it's within my kind of mundane, normal things that I do on a daily basis, or like on a weekly basis. But I just remember seeing like in that, I was just eating this bomb sandwich I made. I mean, it was so, I still think about that sandwich because it was so good. It was just like turkey, I think a couple pieces of ham, oh my gosh, excuse me, some mayo, some cheese, and some bacon. And then I griddled that sucker on one of those little like, it's got like the marks, it leaves the little marks on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. But I just remember sitting there, like I was just sitting there eating my sandwich, talking to just the kids there, and I felt some of the most at peace that I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, one of the most simple, mundane, like literally just eating a sandwich with some kids. That's like that sounds like okay, but for some reason I just felt like incredibly like at peace and like filled with joy at that moment of just being able to spend time with friends, with just like brothers and sisters in Christ, that we are able to just to be able to like gather and to be able to like study and just be able to have that time like on a beautiful day eating like really good food. And I feel like it was just like a picture of God's grace just in that, just being able to, in a simple, not super exciting event, see his goodness, and I feel like even in that, like God does amazing big things. Yeah. But he also, I feel like even just in simple things of every day of providing what we need, our food and water and clothes, with these we should be content. Even in those, every day waking up is just like God's grace upon us of giving us life and it just experiencing everything that we experience. It is just him providing for us, giving us opportunities to serve, whether it's at work or whatever. Giving us everything you have. I mean, even like my cars, like I could have the most beater car that literally just gets me places and that's it. But even that, it's like a gift of grace that I have something that's like fairly comfortable, fairly gas efficient, things like that. But anyways, really talking about my car today. Really love that Ultima.
Next topic, we're talking about cars.
Only my car though. Only my Nissan Altima. But no, it was just an amazing experience. And even like the mundane meeting, like even like on a Sunday morning, with church, like being at church is like it's a simple, normal, routine thing that I do. Not everybody does it, but it's something that like is essential to my life. Something that's super I don't know. Again, just simple and mundane is incredibly like that's one of the things that helps me through my life the most, of just a regular, normal attending of being with God's people, with worshiping, being ministered to. It's like it's just an amazing thing, and the joy that I have when I'm there, it is crazy. I mean, sometimes I'll go into it like fairly tired or thinking about other things, and by the end of like the service, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I'm here. It was nothing crazy. We'll just do like normal songs. We'll have the message that morning, and it's nothing like out of the ordinary. It's just like a normal Sunday morning. I didn't have any crazy emotional reaction. It was just a normal Sunday, and it just that I leave feeling like refreshed and at peace and like just filled with joy. And I feel like that's amazing. That if I didn't think about that, if I just kind of did it, went through the motions, it would not have quite the same effect, in a sense. And so I just feel like that's such a cool thing, and that happens throughout the week, with different things of like, okay, what do I have to be grateful for that I have so much, and being able to just enjoy, simple things. Like there's even sometimes I'll be pumping gas, and I'll just be sitting out there, it'll be like I've had times where I'll just be getting gas, there'll be like a slight breeze, and it's like there's just cars going by, and it's just like super calm and nice, one of these like just getting gas. There's like I feel like there's just always things to find some sort of joy or peace or like thankfulness in, even if it's just things like that. And so I just think that's super cool. So
yeah.
Do you have anything else that I add on this?
Nothing really, no.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had too many experiences of that. Yeah, no, nothing really.
Yeah. Well, I hopefully this was a just interesting listen for you guys. Again, a little bit different than last week, but I just thought it'd be interesting, and I challenge you, an encouragement. The rest of this week, or even just like the rest of today, just find like one thing that you could say, wow, this is something that I do every day, or something that's fairly mundane. But just be thankful for it, and be grateful to God for what He's done, for what He continues to do for you, and we hope this was a blessing for you guys. I didn't laugh as much, so hopefully maybe that's a good thing, 'cause some people are sad thing for other people. But yeah, thank you guys again for listening, and like and subscribe, share on all the platforms as well. And yeah, if you guys have anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know as well. You know, always comment on something. Just comment on something. At some point. It could be something completely like where we don't have any like some we won't ever see, and just comment, hey, I think CerealSaturday to do this, and it might make it to us. So, but yeah, check backs next week. Riley, you have any final words to the listeners?
No.
And I could have said it better than myself. It's funny because you didn't say anything right there.
Okay, stop.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week, guys.
See you next week, guys.
Have a great Saturday and a great week.